Hey everyone, and welcome back to webgov.com's Quick Win Consumer Tips. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in this situation? You need a contractor for a home repair. Maybe your roof is leaking or you want to renovate your bathroom. You get a few quotes and one of them is significantly lower than the others. The contractor seems friendly and professional, but they mention something that gives you a slight pause. I can give you a discount if you pay me in cash. It sounds tempting, right? You save a few $100 and they get paid on the spot. It seems like a win-win, but that simple cash transaction can actually open you up to some major risks. Today we're going to break down why paying a contractor in cash is a bad idea and what you should do instead. When a contractor asks for a cash payment, it's often a red flag. Now, this doesn't mean they're a bad person or that they're trying to rip you off, but it's a practice that's ripe for problems. When you pay in cash, you're essentially creating a transaction that doesn't officially exist. There's no paper trail, no bank record, and no proof of payment. Think about it like this. A bank statement or a canceled check is like a receipt for a big-ticket item. If you buy a new TV and it breaks a week later, you have your receipt to prove you bought it and when. Without that receipt, it's your word against the store's. When you pay a contractor with cash, you lose that proof. And without proof, you have no leverage if something goes wrong. Let's say you paid for a new fence in cash. The contractor finishes the job, but a few weeks later, the fence starts to lean. You call them to fix it, but they never answer. Since you don't have any documentation showing you paid them, it's difficult to prove you have a contract with them or that they even did the work. You might have a hard time getting a refund or making a legal claim. Another huge problem with cash is that it puts you at risk if the contractor or their crew gets injured on your property. A legitimate contractor will have liability insurance and workers' compensation. If one of their crew members gets hurt on your property, their insurance is supposed to cover it. But if you pay in cash, you may be dealing with an uninsured contractor. In that case, you could be held liable for their medical bills and lost wages. It's a huge and unnecessary risk. Finally, a contractor who wants to be paid in cash might be operating outside the law. They might not have the proper licenses or permits, and they might not be paying taxes on their income. While that may not seem like your problem, it affects you directly. If they're cutting corners on the paperwork, they might be cutting corners on the job too. They may not pull the required permits for a job, which could lead to problems down the road if you ever try to sell your home. A potential buyer's inspector might find unpermitted work and tell the buyer to walk away from the deal, or you may be forced to pay to have the work redone and properly permitted. Instead of paying with cash, always choose a method that leaves a paper trail. Use a check, a credit card, or a bank transfer. This is your proof of payment and serves as a record of the transaction. A good contractor will understand and respect this. If a contractor insists on cash, it's best to thank them for their time and move on. It's not worth the risk, no matter how good the deal seems. So, to wrap things up, the next time a contractor offers you a discount for paying in cash, remember these 3 things. 1. No paper trail. You lose all proof of payment, which leaves you with no recourse if the work is shoddy or incomplete. 2. Liability issues. You could be on the hook for medical bills if a worker gets injured on your property. 3. Questionable business practices. A contractor who operates in the gray areas of the law might also cut corners on the quality of their work. The simple action step you can take today is to insist on a paper trail for any work you have done on your home. Always get a written contract and pay with a check, a credit card, or a bank transfer. It's the smart way to protect yourself and your home. For more consumer smart tips and trusted businesses, visit webgov.com.